Hi there, my name is Samantha Marcotte and I'll be conducting this interview today. Today I'll be interviewing Kevin Murray. He's the CEO and founder of the company Movement Masterminds. Kevin, would you mind giving us a brief introduction of your business and its philosophy?
Hi, Catherine. My business, Movement Masterminds, philosophy is eliminating chronic pain through movement.
Okay.
Really simple. I think we tend to make things more complex than they need to be. There's lots of good people out there that can help people in pain. Some are massage therapists who use their hands as tools. Some are physiotherapists, chiropractors who use their hands as tools. I use purposeful and strategic exercises to eliminate the individual's pain.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Great. So Kevin, I'm going to ask you a series of interview questions that have topics of your business startup and management, staffing, financial, etc.
Sure.
Cool. Awesome. So we'll get started then. So to start off, what were you doing before you started your own business?
In the training industry?
Yeah.
What was I doing? I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I have a business background.
Okay.
So I lived in Vancouver and I finished a business diploma course there. And then I was really young. I was 20 when that was done. And then I went traveling to Europe, did a whole bunch of things. Came back and just didn't really do anything related to a business. I kind of went into it because I thought it was what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And being young, it was an excuse to have fun on weekends. And I was always athletic growing up, played hockey, but more athletic on just the side of sport. So hockey, skateboarding, snowboarding. I never really trained in the traditional sense for anything.
Okay.
And I remember it was time to go houseboating. We were going on a houseboat trip, and one of my friends was just aesthetically really pleasing to look at. And his name was Ryan. I was like, Ryan, I'm going to start coming to the gym with you. And I ended up really enjoying myself. And in that process, I met a personal trainer who worked there, who's a really good friend of mine now. And I started working with him to get me closer to my goal, and I just had enormous amounts of fun. And I thought to myself, is this something that I can do? Or do I want to do? And I was overjoyed with the thought of it. Long story short, I got into the personal fitness training program, and I thought I would be a trainer who just trains people.
Yeah.
But I just ended up going a different route. And, however many years later it is, lots now, I'm now working with people I never thought I would, but that's how I got started, was purely from a subjective, let's look good, and then it just morphed into something that now is a huge part of my life. Yeah.
So I guess what was your initial inspiration then for starting your business now? What got you into
Movement
that?
Masterminds?
Yeah.
Well, Movement Masterminds is relatively new. I graduated in 2009 and started working with just anybody. Train anybody, the typical trainer, what is your goal?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I can do it. And that's what I did for a long time. And then I just really had an interest in going down a different direction, working with people who were in pain rather than, weight loss or performance and those sort of things. But I worked a long time just honing my skill set, and ended up getting further in my education. I have a degree, my undergrad, and have spent enormous amounts of money over the years going and learning from people who are the best at what they do outside of a traditional school setting, and just realized that I was really, really good at working with people in pain from a movement perspective. So I knew I didn't want to start a business because that's a whole other side of things. Think of it this way, a personal trainer is the skill set, and then the entrepreneur is someone who runs the business.
Yeah.
And what happens is the personal trainer, who's so young, metaphorically speaking, in learning about the industry, decides to start a business and realizes that 90% of your time was here, 10% of your time was here. So I was really conscious of that, and I knew I wanted to spend 90% of my time here. So it was years that I worked with people, and then I started developing a niche, and then I met someone in San Diego who I followed closely, owner of Function First. Catherine, I know you know this. Anthony Carey, and I met him in 2011. Went to his 3-day mentorship and was just blown away by the course and the content and him as an individual. And I think we like people who are similar to us or who we aspire to be like. And I just took a real liking to him, and it was reciprocated. And now, several years later, I was appointed as Director of Education for the company.
Okay.
But even still, I didn't have Movement Masterminds. Movement Masterminds was something that just developed over the years as a thought to bring together, some of the industry's best. So, Michelle Dalcour is part of it, Anthony's part of it, John Sinclair is part of it, Derek Price is part of it, and they're all close friends of mine, but also just, world-renowned experts and educators. So I wanted to create a platform where people could come and learn from all of us about what we do for free. And then obviously they can learn about the live events that we do, the products that we sell and those sorts of things. And if they want to, they can come in and learn about what we do really well. So at first it's a business to give back and have people come in and see what we're about. And if they like what they're learning from, whether it's Institute of Motion or Function First, then they can dive a bit deeper.
Right.
So it took a long time from original thought of a concept into having, some online real estate, a website, and a business. It takes a long time, and I think if you're going to do business, you need to really spend some time on the skill side of your artistry.
Yeah.
If you do both too soon, I think both are doomed from the beginning.
Could you run me through a typical day in your business?
Yeah. So this is my home/business. I have an office down there where I do all my office work. So the stuff on the education side, with Function First, with Movement Masterminds, with all the other industry people that I work with, do consulting with. That all happens here in the office. I only see clients 3 days a week.
Okay.
And I pack those days with people who want to come see me, but at the same time I need time to put towards all the other goals and aspirations and responsibilities that I have. So, I only work, and again, like I said, 3 days a week with clients. The rest is spent doing the business side of running, my own business and being the education director of another business, and you have to really find the time to do what it is you want to do. And right now, I think I've found the formula that works for me and what I'm doing.
Okay.
So a typical day is I wake up, I go work out. I never work mornings, ever.
Okay.
I only see clients on client days in the afternoons and evenings.
Great.
And on office days, when I get back from the studio, my mornings are mine. I set them up that way.
Just ask.
My mornings are mine, and then I shower, and then I just go in the office and just do work. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you find the most challenging of having your own business?
Having my own business, what's the most challenging? Maintaining my staff like this guy. No, most challenging part about running a business is half of innovation is elimination. So you really have to pick and choose the projects you're going to work on. So I'm selective with the days that I work with people one-on-one. I'm selective with the people that I consult with or the projects that I take on. Because what I've found is if you're going to be successful at anything, you need to dive right into it. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment and dedication. So the biggest challenge is really finding out what it is that I want to sink my teeth into full on. Because when I do feel those emotions, that is something I really want to do, it doesn't stop until it's of excellence in nature. So it can be exhausting. I remember first buying this place. I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, and balancing business and pleasure and relationships and all those things. It's incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer with that individual.
Yeah.
And I know a big part of it was just my passion for the industry that I'm in and wanting to put time into that.
Yeah.
So, that's not all of it, but those are things that can happen.
Yeah.
Time is such a valuable resource, and I need to be selective in what I choose to do, because what I choose to do is you know, the standard is nothing less than outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you, Kevin. So have you handled things on your own, or do you have business partners? You did mention a few names earlier. Or did you just, is it all on the Movement Masterminds?
Movement
Just
Masterminds
you?
is me.
Just
It is
you?
me, and one of the things that I wanted to do was create an avenue for the people part of the Movement Masterminds group to continually do what they do. They write articles when they want to write articles.
Okay.
They don't do it purely for me. They do it because we're all individuals, and that's what's really key about it, is to be independent, doing what we love to do, but then coming together as an interdependent unit.
Yeah.
So if Derek posts a video, then he sends it to me and I put it up on the site.
Oh, okay.
Function First will put it up on their site, because he works at Function First, and his education, I forget his title, I think he's program director for Institute of Motion. So things that he does for him, but to give to the businesses that he's a part of. So if they want to do 5 articles, a 5-part series, then they do it. If they want to take some time away from those things, then they can do that too. I don't have any stipulations based around that, but all of us do workshops together.
Okay.
So Anthony and I, obviously, we created a whole curriculum based around working with the client in pain.
Okay.
It took us 2 years to do, and there's 4 levels, and 3 of those levels are live events.
Yeah.
So him and I obviously have that. We also have another seminar that we do together called Bridging the Gap. Me, Derek Price, and John Sinclair have a seminar. We all work together doing, and Anthony Michaud obviously do lots of stuff. We all work together speaking at live events. So from that perspective, I'm able to provide some online space for people who are learning about all of us to see, wow, okay, Kev is part of this, and
Yeah.
it includes all the mastermind group.
Right.
So, I forget your original question.
If you had business
Partners.
you handle it on your own.
It's never by yourself. It is girlfriends. It is, and what I mean by that is not, people think, do you have partners from a financial perspective? But it's so much more. It's, it's mentors who have been there and can guide you down a road. Are we good? So 90 days to a pain-free reality. Every week they come and see me, to the point where after 3 months, give or take, the individual, the outcome is to get rid of pain.
Mm-hmm.
That is the outcome. So that's platinum, 90 days. And then gold follows the same structure, only there's an additional week in between the follow-up and reassessment.
Okay.
It's basically for people who want to commit but might be financially strapped. So there's an extra week where they can, save or whatever the case may be. And then finally there's the silver, which is a one shot. They come in for the assessment. It's a 2-hour process, the first one. And then they leave with their program, and then I don't see them again. So these are for people like the guy from Oklahoma City who flew in. He's not going to come back in a week.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
here to see me, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
So it's a here you go, thanks for coming in, here's your exercises, and follow up with me via email if you need to. Yeah.
How did you come up with the pricing for those different...
I leaned on my team. So my team being, some of the masterminds people. Anthony's been doing this a long time.
Okay.
And he basically has set his standard for what he charges his work with people. You don't see Anthony unless you have $550 for the first assessment.
Wow.
So he's $550, and I thought to myself, well, I need to create a sliding scale because he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't feel comfortable charging that amount.
Yeah.
However, I did feel comfortable at a certain price that I set it at.
Okay.
And it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you consider having any competition? Like, who would be your biggest competition?
Well, I guess that's a funny word. It's subjective to interpretation, really.
Yeah.
So competition, I think there's enough people in pain that, here's the thing, everything works for somebody, right? Physiotherapy works for some people. Chiropractors work for some people. I don't think that they're all bad and one is the best. I to be honest with you, I follow certain people that do similar things to what we do just to see what they're doing, what they're innovating, those things, but I don't worry about that stuff. it can start to chew you up when you start worrying about what other people are doing, and you just have to have something that you're about, and that's what people I think miss, is they're not about something.
Yeah.
They're about, you know, what anyone else is doing. And I just have values and principles that, you know, steer my ship in life, and one of them is to try to stay away from, you know, an ego that gets upset at when other people are doing well.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough people who are doing good for people in pain that at the end of the day, they're not my competition. They are people who do similar things to me and are helping, or who are about a common purpose. So.
Yeah. So what makes you unique then?
Compared to what?
Compared to like physiotherapists or anything like that, like what do you think, what makes you different from other training type?
Yeah, so we look at the body as a whole. Our one of our guiding principles is, you know, the old nursery rhyme, which is head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Yeah.
And, you know, you need to have certain biomechanical elements happen in order for a joint to move through its desired and optimal range of motion. And certain times biomechanical limitations cause a hiccup, and then the whole structure is affected. So what we do is we look at the body as a whole, whereas a lot of people say, your knee hurts, let me look at your knee.
Yeah.
I want to see, maybe let me look at your foot. Maybe your foot's not, you know, contributing to the overall motion, and your knee is saying, geez, you know, it'd be really nice if you did what you were supposed to do, ankle.
Yeah.
But what we do is everything that we do in the studio, the client can replicate at home.
Okay.
And that's what's different, which is I don't need my masseuse's skill set. I need my masseuse's skill set to benefit from what they do. I need to go see them and have them put their hands on me in order for a change to happen. I need to go see my chiropractor for his adjustment skills.
Right.
An individual does their exercise by themselves. That's how they get them. I'm just a guide. I guide where I think is best for them to go, and they end up doing it. So, you know, defining the business that you're in is incredibly important. And what most trainers do is they say, I'm in the personal training business,
Right.
which separates them from nobody else. You know, there are so many people out there who are personal training.
Yeah.
I'm in the business of empowerment and transformation because my client is able to replicate everything that we do in the studio at home.
That's incredible.
So it's up to them to do it. And if you're dependent on somebody to get you out of pain, then what happens if they move? What happens if they go away on vacation?
Yeah.
You know, you're dependent that's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
Is empowerment and transformation. Yeah.
Awesome. So a personal question for the interview. So for myself, as I told you before, I want to have a business one day specific for overweight, obese population, things like that. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice you would like to share with me?
Yeah, go deep.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that specifically is the personal trainer's business card is, here you go, and on it says whatever your goal,
Yeah.
whether it's weight loss, you know, strength gains, muscle mass,
Yeah.
post-rehab, sports performance, corrective exercise, I'm your guy or I'm your gal. At the end of the day, we know that they can't be experts in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they dabble.
Yeah.
So find out what makes your heart sing and then go really deep in terms of learning all you can about that.
Okay.
So with weight loss, find the people who are the best at educating in that niche.
Yeah.
And immerse yourself into it. And then take all of that and mix it into what makes you you, and you have a recipe that is uniquely yours.
Yeah.
So don't skim. That's my advice. Don't skim. And at the beginning you might have to because you're unsure about, I didn't know I was going to go down the road I did.
Yeah.
You know, but now I only see people in chronic pain.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not in chronic pain, I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I don't want your money.
Yeah.
Even if you've heard good things, you know, save it. I've got someone I can refer you to.
Yeah.
So go as deep as you can.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that concludes our interview, Kevin. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me and do this interview. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. See you, Catherine.